Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm just going to show that MSM, mainstream media, little tricks that they're pulling here. This is a video about the Yellow Vest riots in France, which is now 16 weeks, and it's about the protesters and the reaction of the government to the protesters. So just listen. It's just audio right here, and just listen. I'm going to point out a couple tricks that the media pull on you. Okay, just listen, please.
From the start, the Prime Minister has rejected prominent calls for a general amnesty. Instead, many say he has used judicial repression on top of physical repression to dissuade people from joining the anti-government movement. The treatment of arrested Yellow Vests has caused widespread accusations that France's justice system is riven with inequalities. For many years, mainstream politicians and
Right now, they have a picture of 5 politicians, but it's Marie Le Pen who's at the center of this, and she's the one doing the talking.
Embroiled in countless corruption scandals, yet seemingly none.
They showed her again, and then they went to Macron. It's funny how they're they're changing, like they're saying all politicians instead of just this little weasel, right? Macron, right? Because this is Macron's doing, right? This has nothing to do with Marie Le Pen, but she was the first 2/3 of showing the politicians. It was Marie Le Pen, and now it's Macron.
Ever go to jail?
Look at the Benalla affair. There's overwhelming proof that President Emmanuel Macron's right-hand man committed many crimes, yet he remains free, while Yellow Vests get years in prison. It is clear that there's major discrimination in the justice system by France.
Does that sound familiar? How about Bill Moreau, right? You know, the finance minister. And he was he convicted? I mean, obviously he was insider trading, right? So, I mean, here's a left-leaning politician, right? And you have a left-leaning Trudeau politician, and they're interchangeable. These governments are like almost interchangeable. And then you go down to the Democrats, or the Social Democrats as they're being called nowadays, and you can see that like people like Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, and how Deputy Wasserman Schultz, and how these people are getting away with everything, and they're setting up a dichotomy here. Like they're saying, here's us who go to jail for whatever reason. Right now, there's 8,000 arrests, and 2,000 people have been convicted in France. So, I mean, they're processed very quickly, and then very questionable. Some of the arrest practices are very questionable. Some of the why they're arrested is questionable.
Against its very own citizens. Some people have special privileges, but the Yellow Vests do not.
The number of arrests grows by the hundreds every weekend, and there is no end in sight to the Yellow Vest demonstrations. Macron has just announced that he will restart his wave of unpopular right-wing, austerity-minded reform.
You hear that? Right-wing. Now, there's nothing, first of all, there's nothing right-wing about France. France has been a left-wing country for many, many decades. To all of a sudden say they're right-wing is ludicrous. And call the action of austerity a right-wing. I mean, it almost associates like that austerity with Marie Le Pen, right? Because she's the right-wing party, right? So, I mean, this whole thing is redirect. That's what it is. It's a redirect of mainstream media trying to muck up the waters. It's plain and simple. You have a government like Macron, we have a government like Trudeau, where you have a government like the Democrats, and you will find that they are anti-business. What happens is businesses start to close because there's so much regulation, there's so much taxes, right? It hurts businesses. They start to close down. And all of a sudden, right, who's doing the hiring, right? these companies that are left, like SNC Lavalin, for example, all of a sudden they take a special place in the Liberal government because they can't have them close. You know, the Trudeau now will work with them any way possible to make sure that they're open, and that includes breaking the law, right, and making new laws, right, overseeing corruption cases and overseeing corruption acts. And in actual fact, they'll start in France's case. They'll start working for the companies, these corporations, to reduce wages, to push back against the workers and stuff. And they call this a right-wing movement. It's not a right-wing movement. See, these are all left-wing organizations. It's the same thing that happened in New York when Amazon got a special tax break to get into New York. That's not fair to other companies, and really that's not fair to the taxpayers in New York. And of course, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez screwed that all up. I mean, she's so dumb that she actually blew up that deal, right? But the idea was that, hey, we'll give you a special deal because I know the environment that we set isn't proper. It isn't good for business. So we'll just underpin it. We'll look the other way. We'll actually act in your favor, right? So on the surface, they're saying, yeah, let's get business. Let's let them pay for everything. But in reality, they realize very soon afterwards, that they can't do that. And you look at places like that are very right wing and see how they operate. You look at places like Texas, for example, or places like Florida, very low regulations, booming business, good standard of living, right, and a good place to live, right. That's a right wing situation because, if you allow people to go ahead and do what they do best, things will improve. But you're making it difficult for companies to actually even perform. And then because the companies become so important to you, you have to go and help the companies in any way, manner that you seem like that you can help them with tax breaks and with enforcing changing laws, and sometimes even acting as their broker for contract negotiations, On one hand, they say, well, minimum wage, but in reality, in the end, they're not going to see these companies fail. So they're going to rush to help out the companies as soon as they can. And quite evidently, the people in France, the Yellow Vests themselves, are not right-wing. I mean, they're asking for minimum wage. They're asking for a lot of left-wing policies instead of an open, free market. They're not saying let's unencumbered transactions, unencumbered commerce. They want government in there. They just want them on their side. The problem is, though, with this kind of environment, you don't got a growing economy. You got a stagnant economy, which is why everybody in advanced later civilizations like Europe, in North America, when they start going left, their economies start to slow down. I mean, what would happen if Trudeau implemented the carbon tax? How many businesses would close? And those businesses that are now open, or stay open, they're going to get special treatment, right? And those businesses that are now open, they know the ropes, right? There's so much red tape that it actually encumbers new companies from forming up, because it's so restrictive that it stops new formation of companies. Like if SNC Lavalin were to close, a new company would spring up if the environment was right, but it isn't. You see, so I mean, there's not going to be anything springing up from SNC Lavalin when they close, and it's because of the environment. If the environment was good, SNC Lavalin, it wouldn't matter, because another company would just take its place. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the little dirty tricks and I'll include this link in the videos if you want to have a look at the. It's from the Hound Dog, and it's Macron apologized for humiliating France. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.